In this picture, an example of a linear function would be right here. So the equation is y equals negative 1.3 multiplied by x minus 3 with a domain of 1.591 is less than x that is less than 1.9409. Now for an exponential function, an example would be this line, which has an equation of 50 to the power of x minus 0.4 minus 1 with a domain of negative 1.174 is less than x that is less than 0.204. Now an example of a quadratic function in this picture would be this, which has the it has an equation of y equals negative 0.8 multiplied by x plus 1.5 squared plus 3.1 with a domain of negative 2.4 is less than x that is less than 0. An inverse variation function, it would be an example of an inverse variation function would be this this equation, which is y equals 1 over x plus 3 plus 1 with a domain of negative 2.346 is less than x that is less than negative 2.045. For a square root function, an example would be this, which is the negative square root of 0.6x plus 1.7 with a domain of x that is less than negative 1.174. With this quadratic function, I had translated it up 2.52 units by adding 2.52 units to the equation. An example of a translation down would be this equation, which is 0.3 multiplied by x plus 1 squared minus 1.3, where it's translated down 1.3 units by subtracting that to the equation. This line is an example of translating right 3 units because it's negative 1.3 multiplied by x minus 3 because it subtracts the 3 from x. This function is an example of translating left 2.87 units because it adds 2.87 units to the value of x. This function was reflected over the x axis because in the function it is y equals negative 0.7 multiplied by x plus 1.85 squared minus 3.55. Since the 0.7 is a negative number, that means that it was flipped over the x-axis. This is an example of a vertical compression because the equation is y equals 0.3 multiplied by x plus 0.5 squared minus 2.4. Since 0.3 is less than 1, it would be a vertical compression. This equation would be an example of vertical stretch because the equation is y equals -5 multiplied by x plus 1.36 squared minus 2. Since -5 is less than -1, it would be a vertical stretch. One advanced function that I used in this picture would be this, which is 0.07 multiplied by x minus 2.3 to the power of 26 minus 4.58. Another one that I used was this, which was x minus 2.3 squared plus y plus 4.49 squared equals 1.